Hey, this is Rob Anspach, and welcome to another edition of E-Heroes. Now, a lot of you guys know that I have a love-hate relationship with LinkedIn, so I actually brought in a LinkedIn expert to share with us, how to use LinkedIn better, how to communicate, how to engage, and how to get our money's worth out of LinkedIn. So, welcome, Deanna Russo, and thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the time, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, why LinkedIn? I guess we could be an expert in everything, but LinkedIn is one of those things where it's just the other day I saw someone posting about politics and someone just jumped right in. Politics is not for LinkedIn, it's for Facebook. I'm like, really? I think LinkedIn could be used for anything, really.
It can be used for anything. I have actually been on LinkedIn since 2008, but it wasn't until 2018 where I had the light bulb moment.
Hmm.
And basically, it was because of a job. It was because of a sales job. They said, we want you to use LinkedIn as the primary way to bring in new business. And prior to that time, for about 10 years or so, I had been treating it like an online resume.
Yeah.
You would put your experience up there. Maybe you change your profile picture once every couple of years. But my connections were about 400 or so.
Yeah.
But once I took that sales job and I started spending more time on it and I started having conversations right on LinkedIn and engaging with a lot more people, it didn't take long before I realized that I was treating it wrong for about 10 years before that.
Yeah. With Facebook, I think you max out at 5,000 friends or connections. With LinkedIn, I think you have 30,000. And like I said off air, I have close to 7,000. But it wasn't always that way. And I started in 2009. I think I started 6 months prior to getting on Facebook. And I just liked LinkedIn better because it was business to business, but the conversations just weren't there. I was having better conversations on Facebook, getting more jobs from Facebook. And to me, LinkedIn was one of those things where I'll just go when I feel like it. But and not to blame COVID, but COVID kind of reassessed my ideas of where I want to spend my time. And Facebook got very toxic very quickly. Um, but LinkedIn is very serious, and it doesn't fit my sarcasm. So we all have to figure out how to use LinkedIn a little bit better.
Honestly, what it boils down to is LinkedIn has changed the way that the persona that it has. Honestly, as a platform, when it first rolled out, the big target was job seekers and recruiters.
Mhm.
And then it transformed into press release vehicle central. Every single company who's putting out any news about their company was putting it on LinkedIn. And what's happened in the last, I would say, 5 years or so, is it has transformed into a professional networking platform
Yeah.
where more and more people are coming on to build relationships and to build a community. More now than it ever has.
Right.
And you're right, if there's any good thing that has come out of COVID, it is that a lot of people have realized that they have this profile that they haven't been doing anything with for on LinkedIn, and look at all these awesome people that are on there. So yeah, there's been a very eye-opening experience in the last year or so.
And I find that the business pages that you create on LinkedIn, you know, as an extension of your own profile. So you got your personal
Yes.
profile and you got your business profile. I find that they get better engagement. You can put a lot more information on them than you can with Facebook. And you know, I just feel that it's just a better platform if you're dealing business to business.
Yes, it is the platform for B2B. Honestly, it's the platform. When it comes to the company pages, a lot of people want more results out of the company pages, and they want more views, and they would really want to leverage them. And my go-to answer for that is that people do business with people. So when I'm posting under Deanna Russo, but organically I'm sending traffic over to my company page.
Hmm.
So it is more like you're going to do business with Deanna Russo. And by the way, she owns this company called Leverage Up.
Right.
So, but you're right. The company pages are built for a lot more content, and they're a lot more robust than the company pages are on Facebook for sure.
But with everything, people use it wrong. And my big hang up is getting a pitch, right out of the gate. I just met you. This is crazy, but here's my number. Yeah, it's the same thing with LinkedIn. You know, I accept your connection. 2 seconds later, hey, I'm being pitched your next get rich quick scheme, your URL, your book, your course. Yeah, and it's like, dude, just chill. And I think that I got so fed up. That was the catalyst that I created that short video, 15 seconds. There was no pitching. It was just me saying, "Hey, I appreciate you, um, and I welcome a conversation down the road." And people like that. But you know, the problem is now it's like manual. I gotta cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste. And if you get 1,000 connections in a month, that's tiring.
It is. It is. Honestly, people do business with people, and it's the know, like, and trust. So those cold call direct messages are my biggest pet peeve, because you're right. You're connecting with someone, and then right out of the gate, you get a cold call message. And it's just like someone coming to my door and knocking on the door and trying to sell me a vacuum cleaner. It's the exact same thing. I don't know you. I don't trust you. So why would I do business with you? But in the end, we're on there to build relationships. I would more likely have an offline conversation with someone who has been engaging in my content, who is visible to me, than someone who just straight out of connecting tries to get me on the phone to discuss something, anything that. And you know what gets me more than anything else, Rob, is these people aren't looking at my profile. I've had people that actually do similar things to what I do, and they're cold call pitching me in the PMs because they're not looking at your profile. And Sales Navigator on LinkedIn can be used as a crutch to a lot of people who are using it as a cold call direct message generator instead of engaging and then using Navigator as a tool in your toolbox. And that's my recommendation.
I teach social media, and I've been doing this for a long time, but I don't know everything. And and sometimes there's it gets to a point where they're changing these things so quickly. I don't want to lose. I don't want to learn new stuff. So sometimes it's just better. Hey, Deanna, what's the answer? Or reach over here to somebody. What's the answer?
Right.
Because I think that the as soon as you start to learn it, they change it. I mean, Facebook is
Yes.
constantly changing what they're doing, and I think it just irritates people. LinkedIn, I think, over the last 10 years has only changed a few minor things.
It's been gradual.
Yeah. I think the one that really irritates me though is still the ability to scrape my email off of LinkedIn and then spam me messages through my inbox. I mean, stop that.
Yep, I'm getting the same messages. Not only are they sending direct messages through your inbox on LinkedIn, but then they're emailing you even after you did not sign up for that email list.
Right.
So yeah, it is quite annoying.
Yeah.
But there are things that LinkedIn is doing to kind of open up bridges and community building. They're going to be working on groups, for example. Groups on Facebook is very robust, and lots of people have opened up groups on Facebook. And on LinkedIn, the functionality of groups has not always been the best.
Right.
So they are looking at that.
I think I created a group last year, and the engagement was so bad. I'm like, I just go back to my group on Facebook.
Right.
But then I look at the expense. I mean, right now, for 10 years, I haven't spent a dime on LinkedIn, but I know others that are spending, $40 or $50 to have, premium and is it worth it?
My whole take on premium, and I've had it twice. The first time the company paid for it, and the second time I did it as a trial just to see if by having a premium account, if they would accept my request for LinkedIn Live, because you have to apply for permission for LinkedIn Live, unlike Facebook where you can go live anytime.
Right.
which I still haven't gotten yet. But honestly, there are pros and cons of anything. And with premium, I have found that the pros of LinkedIn Learning can really appeal to people. The fact that you have a lot more access to LinkedIn Learning. And for people that are in sales, you can see a lot more people who are looking at your profile than you can under the free basic plan. So
Yeah,
there's a few pros.
right. And I had stumbled on LinkedIn Learning, and I guess I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing. You just press buttons every now and then. And I came across this SEO course, and I'm like, okay, I'll just bugger around and see what's going on. And I've written books on social on SEO, and I teach it, and so I thought, okay, just go through it. And then it says, hey, congratulations, you completed this course. I'm like, I was taking a course, what? But now it's on my it's on my LinkedIn. And I'm like, and now I keep getting all these things. Since you took this course, how about taking this one and this one? I'm like, I took it by accident.
That's funny.
I'm like, okay.
Without even realizing.
Yeah, it was kind of ironic because then I went back to try to figure out what it was, and I'm like, okay, but the problem is now I'm getting spammed by LinkedIn about all this garbage that I don't need, and
Yep.
and I think that's what we have to do as entrepreneurs. We look at it as okay, is this social media platform conducive to what we want to get out of life? I look at all the other networks, and honestly, I use Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and that's about it. I stopped using TikTok. I stopped using Snapchat. I stopped using Twitter, and I only occasionally post to Instagram. And people were like, "Well, wait a minute, Rob, you write books on social. You teach social. You have clients that you help them with social." And most of my clients are lawyers and doctors that would never do some of these extra ones.
Right.
So I put them where 80% or 90% of their clients are going to be anyway.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And really, when you look at all of the social media platforms, it can be overwhelming. It can be really overwhelming. You have to be here. You have to be here. You have to be here. Honestly, my advice is pick one or two and make that your go-to. Because if you're spread out all over the place, it's going to be overwhelming, and you're not going to be able to keep tabs on every single one of them.
Right.
So,
yeah. So if you like the dancing and this and that, and you want to be on TikTok, focus 80% of your effort on TikTok.
right.
And then, but yeah, I mean, most of my effort right now is just LinkedIn and Facebook, and I'm kind of getting away from Facebook. I mean, I'm still there, but I don't post as often, and I'm starting to engage better with LinkedIn, even though I still have this love-hate relationship with it.
LinkedIn has been really fantastic for me because it has shown me that it is a really big world. I mean, like, I have connections in Australia, I have connections in the UK, all over the place that I never would have met if it wasn't for LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And lots of connections all over the States too. And honestly, I feel like I can really build really good relationships with the people on LinkedIn. And Facebook, I've been on Facebook since I think that was 2007, 2008. And that is more of my friends and cousins and family that's on Facebook more than anything else. So I have actually done experiments though, Rob, where I posted the exact same thing on Facebook and LinkedIn. And I realized by doing that I see where my audience is, and I see where the people who resonate with me are, and that's on LinkedIn. So that's where I'm going to stay.
I think I still get better engagement on Facebook only because that's where a lot of my marketing friends are. But and I do get a lot of referrals from those friends. But LinkedIn is a different type of animal, and it's clients that or potential clients that I actually want to get into and help better. Bigger companies, brand name companies, and the only way to do that is to connect with somebody that is in those companies and then hope you resonate, or, in my case, don't piss them off because I'm very sarcastic. And then they look at me going, did I just friend request you? And the funny thing is that, as I shared with you guys, I sent out these little 15-second videos, and they're non-pitching, and they're just introducing myself. And I have had, I'd say 90% of the people respond positively. They like the video. And then you got these 10% they'll say, oh, you should have used BombBomb. You should have used this. You shouldn't have used YouTube. You should have made it personalized. And I'm like, dude, I get 1,000 connections a month. I don't have time to personalize.
Yep.
My whole goal is to simplify my life. So if I record once and then share it back to you, I personalize the message. I just didn't personalize the video.
Right. You got to pick where you want to put your efforts in. And honestly, video messages are so well received overall, audio messages, video messages, because you're doing something different than everybody else who's typing it out.
Yeah.
So I say go with whatever works. And honestly, if you know who you're sending these messages to, you're already a leg up on other people who have no idea who they're. I mean, it's like a blanket, and then they just send out the message. So at least you know who you're sending it to, and when that person replies, you can say, "Here's why I wanted to connect with you. Here is why I think that my content could resonate with you," and you open up that conversation.
Yeah, it just. I think that they just think that they can just throw out any message and hope that they'll catch something. And to me, I'd rather have a message that, doesn't talk about them, doesn't put me in a position where I'm playing guesswork with what they're doing. It's just wishing them well. And that way it puts the ball in their court if they want to have a conversation with me.
Yes. Yes. But it opens up that door. It opens up the door. That's all you need.
What can we do to make our LinkedIn profiles better? Because I've seen so many things. I've tried so many things. I know what kind of works for me. But I see some people just repeating the same old stuff, or they won't even have a banner picture, and they'll have, I've come across so many of them that still don't have their own picture in their profile.
Yes. Well, honestly, when it comes to your profile, it is the foundation of what you're doing on LinkedIn. So the more that you engage with people, the more that you have the conversations, the more that you post. If your profile isn't good first, then all of that stuff is not going to matter, because you're going to be getting yourself out there and trying to be more visible. But in the end, the foundational piece will have cracks in it. Mm-hmm. So that's why when I work with my clients, we work on the profile first. But honestly, Rob, it is about creating that rainbow picture, that rainbow green, blue icon in the sea of black and white and gray figures. If you're looking at a graphic and you see black and gray and all of these other, you want to be the rainbow. You want to be the blue. You want to be the pink and purple. You want to stand out, because there's 760 million people on LinkedIn worldwide. So what makes you different? And that's really how you need to go into building your profile, is how can you customize it to showcase and brand yourself. Right. And you mentioned about the profile picture. It's the number one thing people look at. Yeah. If your profile picture isn't the image that you want to portray, I recommend switching it up, because that is the first thing that people use to decide if they are going to connect with you. That one. And then the second is the headline. Right. And the third is that banner that you mentioned, and the about section. Those are really important parts that will be the foundation work of what you're doing on LinkedIn.
And the headline is something I believe that should match your personality, or match what you actually provide, not your title. Your
Right.
title's already down below in your employment section. Don't repeat it.
Right. Yep. And honestly, if you were to search those titles, account representative, business development, paralegal, whatever it is, whatever title you have, chances are you're going to find hundreds, if not thousands of people that are the exact same. So what sets you apart from all of those other people? As opposed to a business development where sales is awesome. You know, if you're customizing that and you're giving yourself your own tagline, that is going to be more eye-catching for people who want to connect, as opposed to just a account representative, just a title.
Yeah. You know, but and I see it done so wrong on so many places. And it goes back to, you know, those are the same type of people who will spam you right out of the gate.
Yes.
You know, they have their own LinkedIn wrong, but oh my goodness, they want to sell you everything that they got because they think LinkedIn is right for them.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But they don't understand how to do it right to begin with.
No, and the funny thing is, you know, most of my Rob versus books, which is my sarcastic take on my adventures dealing with lousy customer service, scammers, spammers, fraudsters, fools. There's at least, you know, a whole chapter in each book about LinkedIn, and I basically call them LinkedIn losers because, you know, I would always battle with them. You know, they'll send me a chat. Hey, Rob, you know, thanks for the connection. Buy my this. Why? And you know,
Yeah.
they go into the defensive and they're like, well, oh, Rob, you're one of those. One of those what? It's like, but you know, it's like a battle of wits, and they always lose. Um, I always find that it's best that you know, if you're going to target somebody, know exactly what they do. You know
Yes.
exactly how you can help them before you jump
Yes.
in.
Yes.
You know,
Know who you're starting the conversation with.
right?
And what made, like, if someone asks me, if I send someone a connection request and they ask me why I want to connect, I have a reason. I have a reason waiting if that person asks me that. It's the same thing with selling on LinkedIn. If someone needs to know more about you and your services, be prepared to ask because you've already done your research. Know who you're sending the messages to.
Well, I had
And
somebody.
it's just a matter of looking at the profile. That's
Right. I had somebody ask me, or they say, "Hey, we can help you publish your first book." And my first response was, "Do you have a DeLorean?" And they're like, "What?" I said, "Do you have a time machine?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Look, I published my first book back in 2013. You going to help me do that?" And they're like, "That's crazy." I said, "Well, so is this conversation." I said, "Now you know, I because of that first book, I started my own publishing company, and I'm now on the 32nd book that we've produced in since 2013." And I said, "But if you want to help me, get that time machine so we can go back." They unfriended me very quickly. So
that's a really good go-to. That's a really good answer. Do you have a DeLorean? I
but
have to use that one
they
because
don't.
someone asks me in a direct message, "Can I help you with your LinkedIn?" And my go-to answer is, "Did you look at my profile?"
Yeah,
But I like the go back in time one even better.
they don't. They never look at profiles, and I'm like,
Nope.
come on, people. Just take a second, look at my profile. No.
Honestly, when Sales Navigator was created, or when I know quite a few companies that are pivoting themselves to send all of these messages, and it's about creating those potential leads, and I understand that. But the object of Sales Navigator was not to use it as a cold call sales vehicle.
Right.
It was to open up conversations with people that you aren't currently connected to. And so that's where the in-mail comes in.
Mhm.
But honestly, people are not using it the right way.
Yeah,
So
and you know, I reached out to somebody the other day. You know, and LinkedIn has this feature, I guess, that you don't want to be looked at as an unwelcome pest. So you have to fill in their email.
yeah,
I don't have their email. How
nope,
am I supposed to get their email? You know, to me, that's the stupidest feature ever because the whole purpose is to connect with somebody. If they don't want my
yes,
connection, they can just say no, reject.
right,
How am I
Right.
supposed to guess their email just so I can?
Those are the people who have set their profiles to private.
Yeah,
But if you're going to be on a networking platform like this, then that option in my mind shouldn't even be available,
right,
because what's the point of setting yourself as private if you're not going to network with other people
right.
who can then help you? I mean, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
So tell me about your company. It's called Leverage Up.
Leverage up. So basically I started this out of my personal experience with LinkedIn, because I built my network and I realized that there is a right way and a wrong way. So I want to help more people do it the right way. And like I mentioned, the profile is the foundational piece. We work on engagement. We work on avenues of LinkedIn where the conversations are, where there are potential clients and potential referrals. And I teach people how to get into those avenues and get the attention of the people that they want to do business with. And then the content marketing piece is a lot of fun for me because I have a content marketing background.
Mhm.
So I love to create original content that gets people thinking and gets people talking. And basically, it's you have to showcase yourself as an expert. And right now, out of that big chunk of people who are currently on the platform, only a small percentage are creating their own content.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of room for everyone to play in the same pond.
Yeah.
So
For me, I mean, I use a service called Social Bee, and every day I'm pumping more content into that repository, and then it's auto posting to where, because I don't have time to be sitting in front of computers all day long.
mhm.
Although technically I'm in front of computers all day long, writing blog articles and everything else. But
Yeah.
to me, it's on an average month, we're creating 1,000 posts, and it gets mundane, and after a while, it's like, right, really, can't I just recycle some of this? And the
There
funny
are
thing is, I
people that do though, Rob.
yeah,
There are people that recycle content all the time,
oh
because
yeah,
honestly, the social media time span is so short that people don't remember that you posted it 6 months ago. They don't remember that you posted it 3 months ago. But when you're telling me that you have this many pieces of content, my go-to is consistency,
mhm,
and you are consistently showing up.
yeah,
That's the most important thing, because if someone is on it and they post 1 week and then they go a month without posting, that's not consistency. And that's why I tell people you don't have to consistently post on LinkedIn every single day, but you do have to be there. You
mhm,
have to be engaging with other people and taking part in conversations. And if you're posting every other day, if you're posting once a week, at least you're posting, but you still have to be on to engage with the people that you want to be visible to,
mhm.
too.
Yeah. Usually, half hour in the morning, half hour in the evening. I'll just go through different posts, click like, or comment, just so that the algorithm shows that I'm engaging, and then hopefully people will turn around and engage with me, and it does work. But again, I just take my iPad while I'm watching TV and scroll through, oh yeah, it's nice. I'll comment there. Granted, it does take time, but I'm multitasking, and um, sometimes I miss what's going on TV, and hey, what's going on? I'm too busy doing it. But it is what it is, and I think we have to buy our time between different things that we like to enjoy.
Yeah,
We don't always have to be posting every single day, but that's why I use a product
right.
to auto post. And I know that there are pros and cons to doing that. But to tell you the truth, it saves me about 4 hours a day.
Then go to it. Use the tools that make your life easier. That's why we have Calendly. That's
Yeah.
why we have schedulers. You got to use tools that help you, or else it's going to be an uphill battle. So,
Yeah. So how do people find you? I know we mentioned the website,
yep.
we mentioned the company Leverage Up, but what is the website URL?
LeverageUpLLC.com. And you can find Deanna Russo right on LinkedIn. I'm the first one that pops up on LinkedIn. I'm not the first one that pops up under the Google search, as we talked about, but I'm the first one that pops up under LinkedIn. And Deanna at leverageupllc.com is my email. So
Yeah, she was a former actress in Knight Rider.
yes. Yes.
No, that was the other
One
one.
day, Rob, one day I will overcome Deanna Russo, the actress, in the search results. It's a running joke that my husband and I have, that if you search Deanna Russo Columbus, where I'm in Columbus, Ohio, then I'm the first one that pops up. My hometown of Buffalo, New York, I'm the first one that pops up, but I still have not taken over the actress yet.
Hey, I'm in Pennsylvania, so I'm pretty close.
There you go.
But just type in my name, Rob Anspach. Most of the time, people can't pronounce my last name or even spell it, so that's okay too.
My maiden name is Kwiatkowski, so I got Anspach. We got you.
So, any last minute words of wisdom you want to share?
No, I think if you're thinking about LinkedIn and you want to know how to do it the right way, feel free to send me a direct message. I'm happy to have a conversation and give you one or two tidbits that kind of get you on that right track. And that honestly, when it comes to Facebook versus LinkedIn, it is different for everybody. You know, some people may think Facebook is their go-to, and they think of one thing about LinkedIn, and then you get to the platform and you're engaging, you're realizing this isn't what I thought it was. So I say give it a shot.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. To me, it's like you said, it's consistency. And it's showing up, and that'll help engagement. And
Yes.
so everybody, if you want to reach out, go to leverageupllc.com. Visit Deanna on LinkedIn, and this is why she's an e-hero, because she's sharing her information with you guys to make your life easier, better, super. And so, hey, we'll catch you guys on the next episode. And tell me what you think. Tell Deanna what you think, and just say hi. So, adios.
Thank you.